Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Wars fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and today we are looking at not a 6-pack from the retro collection, but instead 3 2-packs, which I will split out into the individual packs just so it's easier for people to look at what they want to look at rather than scroll through a whole video. But yeah, so as some of you will be aware, I have started collecting, having sworn myself off doing it, but I've got sucked in because, you know, that's me, collecting the retro collection. And I've only really been doing it through the means of the box sets. So as Hasbro have re-released some of their retro collection figures through the 6-pack box sets, I've been collecting them. Now, for those who may be new to collecting or unfamiliar, retro collection is essentially Hasbro revisiting the old Palitoy, Kenner, depending what country you're from, original Star Wars figures, or the original Star Wars aesthetic of those original figures, which were far more playable with and far less presentation worthy, I'm trying to be kind, than some of the modern figures. They lacked a range of articulation. They only really had, at best, 5 points of articulation, which tended to be the neck, the 2 shoulders, and the 2 hips. I'll be honest, not all figures had that. They were very small, little, as you can see here, little figures, not very assuming, but they took the world by storm, and we loved them, and we played with them. And that is, I think, one of those epic tidal shifts in history that suddenly made, I think, toys desirable, collectible for adults. Because I think for a lot of us, for a certain generation of us, nothing screams recapturing your childhood than classic 1970s and 1980s Star Wars figures. And I think that was there was a massive drive by people who suddenly wanted to reclaim their childhood and get their hands on those figures, which is what, of course, drove up the market value of the original figures. And they, of course, are out of reach for a lot of people, certainly for me, although I do occasionally still come across one, obviously out of its packaging, etc, etc, tucked away somewhere, and I'm always thrilled and amazed when such a thing happens. But yeah, and so far we've had a couple of New Hope boxes. We've had one Return of the Jedi box. We've had a couple of sideways steps. We've had a Phantom Menace box set. We've had a split, still a 6-pack, but 3 and 3 for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And we've also had an Acolyte box set, which is great. I have no issue with that, because it's nice to sort of see the figures that, some of those figures we've only so far seen in Vintage Collection or Black Series, which are, of course, a much higher spec. 2 different size scales. So Vintage Collection, if you like, and because this is stuff I've learned in the last couple of years, Vintage Collection, if to all intents and purposes, is the old school scale of Star Wars figures, but with modern deco and modern articulation and engineering. Fantastic. Black Series is again similar, but a slightly higher scale, and the same with modern engineering and art and deco, etc, etc. So the retro collection does what it says on the tin. It takes us back to the original type of card backs, the original size scaling. There are some issues I have with how they present it, some of which are very obvious. I don't know why we have to have this fake weathering around the edges. I know a lot of people have the same view. It's just a shame. I would like it to look pristine. I don't really want it to look weathered and old and, you know, poorly looked after. That was what the originals were for. They were to be played with, opened, and poorly looked after. These I want to, I'd like to keep in a slightly different way. So far, as I'm sitting here now recording in April 2025, there hasn't been a 6-pack for The Empire Strikes Back. But doing my research to see what I could find, I did come across 3 2-packs. And this was particularly focused on Empire Strikes Back, the Bounty Hunters. And so I've managed to pick them up from across a range of sources, because I thought, well, these are going to be out of reach. I'm not going to get these, or if I find them in the secondary market, they're going to be exorbitant. I'm so pleased to say that was not the case at all. So I'm super pleased. And actually, I got all 3 of these for less than the price of the average 6-pack box set that is being released now, which averages around in the UK around £70. So that was quite good. I have to say, I was very pleased. Again, we have 2 in each box, so I think this was possibly a precursor to the 6-pack. I don't know the ages at which they came out. This is of particular excitement to me because, of course, there's a Boba Fett character in its original retro deco there, which is very exciting for me. One of my favourite figures. I think that's the same for everybody. But yes, back when I was a wee nipper in the... Do people say that these days? Do people even understand what that? I didn't even understand what that means. Back in the 70s and the 80s, I had these. I had all of these originals off the card. I kept the card because I liked it, but then I think they just got lost and destroyed over time. And many of my figures went to the car boot sales, garage sales sort of thing, and were lost for about 50 pence. You know, were sold for 50 pence. So we don't think about that. We don't think about it. We've drawn a line. We've moved on. We're not bitter. Oh no. No. We're not bitter at all. At all. Anyway, here we are now with these the modern day equivalents, and they serve a purpose. The purpose they serve is to take us back and give us what we've lost. And if we want to take them off the card, we can, and play with them and display them. Brilliant. If you want to leave them on the card, you can. It's brilliant. It's entirely up to you. For me, at the moment, I've been leaving them all on the cards because I'm trying to get 2 sets of each. I haven't done this with these yet. This is what you see is what you get. Because once I've done that, I think I do want to have almost like a grand unboxing, where I actually put them. I actually keep one set nicely on the cards, and the second set where I can take them off, still keep the card neat and tidy and available to rehouse it for cleanliness purposes, but actually get them all off the cards and have them, actually touch them and hold them and feel them and take myself back to those fabulous childhood days before action figures cost £20 each, and back when they cost 75p. But again, still not bitter, folks. I'm still not bitter. So yeah, I was really excited to see this 6-pack, and I did all these 3 2-packs. And what I really like is on the reverse of them, they're all the same on the reverse, bar a little bit of text here, which I'll go through in a second. But this picture shows you why they've been packaged as they have, because really you've got these 2 here, these 2 here, and these 2 here, and that's how they've packaged them up. They've packaged them up so we have Zuckuss and Forlom, or Forlom and Zuckuss, depending which way around you want to name them. We'll ask Kenner about that. Here we have Dengar and IG-88, and I think at the time of filming, Dengar's just about to get a brand new vintage collection figure with lots of articulation. So if the vintage collection is your thing, by all means go and check that out. And of course, sort of the big heavy hitter, Boba Fett and Bosk here. And as I said, the generally speaking, the reverse is the same. There's just a little difference here to the text, where we get a little bit about the 2 characters. So I'm really chuffed to have found these, and I've got them because, as I say, we've got no Empire Strikes Back box set yet. And if we do get one, and it's all 6 of these, I will purchase it, because then that's the one I'll keep neat and tidy. And these are the 3 boxes that I'll use as the ones that I open up in the future. So I've already psychologically equipped myself for the fact that some of these may get re-released in a box set. To me, I suspect they might not do that. They might leave these as this, and if they do eventually give us an Empire Strikes Back, which I hope they do, box set, I hope they do that wonderful thing that they started to do, that is really what I think the retro collection is for, blending in original molds of the figures alongside unreleased classic retro collection figures that we only ever dreamt of getting, which, you know, we have started to see in some of the boxes we've received, and we do have another one that's been announced, which of course I've pre-ordered, where they've gone the other way. There are more unreleased figures from the original Kenner range than there are previously released figures, and some of it's an interesting choice, and we'll look at that as and when it arrives. But for now, I just wanted to say how excited I was to have these three in hand, and over the next little while I'll do a sort of an unboxing and look at each of them. But I didn't want to hold you too long because I know that some videos can go on quite a bit, and I know I've done a lot of waffling, but I'm waffling for context purposes around these. So I look very much forward to seeing you hopefully in a future video, or indeed a future 3 videos, where I look at these twin pack sets in a bit more detail and get the figures out of the external packaging, although I will be leaving them on the packaging up until the point where I get a backup set. Anyway, look forward to seeing you in a future video. If you haven't already, do please like the video, that would be great, and if you could drop a free subscription to the channel, that would also be absolutely amazing and help me push towards my next subscriber milestone. You've been a fantastic audience. I've been the Triple TC, that's the Time Travelling Toy Collector, and this has been an initial look at the 3 Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back special releases from the retro collection of the Bounty Hunters from that second film in the original trilogy. I look forward to seeing you soon. It just remains for me to say that things of beauty really are toys forever. Take care, bye bye for now.